Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is where you are, and welcome back to another episode on the Annoyed Dad channel and my green field with the blue sky. Finally, we have got blue sky. It's turned to April and the sky's become blue because March was just so wet, unbelievably wet. Even now where I'm stood, this area of the field is normally quite dry, and yeah, it's had today to dry out, but that is still quite squidgy underneath my foot. And it is not very good at all. So because of that, I am thinking that I might have to put in some drainage, but we'll cover that in a second. Well, stop there. No more talk about drainage. We'll cover drainage in a second. Let's talk about the most important thing that we've got to talk about today. In that we have got trees that need to be planted into this field. And to plant the trees, we need to work out what's going where and how things are going on. So I will show you. Are you playing the So game? If so, enjoy your drink. I will show you the plans. As you know, we had to put in for full planning permission. We couldn't go with 28-day rule, we couldn't go with an exemption certificate, we couldn't do anything else like that. We had to get full planning permission. Number of reasons which will be explained in an upcoming video when we talk about the story as to how it took over a year to actually get this planning permission just to open up a little campsite like this. Absolutely unbelievably ridiculously stupid that it takes so long, but hey ho, welcome to the English countryside planning department. So this is our field here, and you can see we've got road nicely marked up, and on here are pitches. So we are just a 10 pitch site, and we have allowed for the 10 pitches to be on there. Lots of room for people to be able to spread out, to be able to move around and to be able to do everything. We've got the parking area, which is just basically a rubbish dumping area at the minute, and we've got the pylon, which is obviously right behind us here. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to try to mark out these pitches. Now, when we put this in, I was very careful to say that the locations of the pitches and all the pitches was indicative. Not that it was exact, but it was in those sorts of areas. Because, for example, if we have a yurt here where it says yurt, and we decide to put a yurt there, and we put the yurt up in March, because we're able to open in March, and we leave it there all the way through till October, when we close down for the season, that grass underneath that is going to die. And the same applies for the bow tent, A-frame tent, and all of the other sort of things. It isn't going to work out very well. So I can mark out more than 10 of the pitches, but I can't have people staying on more than 10 pitches at any one time. Hope that makes sense. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to mark some out. And you can see we've got the toilets, which are going there. And that's about it. But I'm going to be a little bit crafty, because I've had a bit of a think since this plan was first drawn up as to where things are going and what's happening. I've had a bit of a think, and I've had a talk with some people. So let's go over there and we'll start having a look at where I've already marked stuff up, what's going on, and where we're going to mark up some more bits and pieces and see what's happening. Oh yeah, you can tell the weather's improving, because look, can you see it? There's a child just over there walking along, not a care in the world, actually being dragged away from a computer screen for once. Okie dokie, so we have stepped just the other side of the pylon, so we are roughly there on the map, okay? And you can see that there's like a pitch marked bow tent and other things like that. What is roughly going to be happening is that, I hate the angle of vision, shall we say, on the GoPro. It's not very good at all. Over here, we have got the entrance gate that goes between the two fields. Hopefully you can pick it up. Just over here. So that gate runs between the two fields. Roughly here where I am stood, so we are in line with the building over there. Roughly here is where the toilets are going to be built. Now the toilets aren't exactly huge, because it is just 3 sit downs and then a little bit round the back for the gents to be able to go and have a stand-up toilet. They are roughly going to be built just here. So this area in front of me and over to the side is relatively flat and relatively level. I wouldn't have to do a lot, and it's also quite big. It's about 30 meters by 30 meters. It's not excessively big, but it's big enough. So if the toilets are going there, if we can keep this area here relatively clear, my idea was that if I don't put any trees or anything in here just yet, I can put a marquee up here. And in the marquee, you can have like a disco, and you could have like a wedding reception, and you could like charge a lot more money for using the whole site because it's got easy access to the road. Toilets are just there, parking's going to be there, so you wouldn't have far to walk from the car parking just to be able to get up to the marquee, stay here and do things like that. I have spoken to some people about this, and I have been told that it might well be a viable idea. So that is my idea for there. And then if we come this way, I'll explain some of the bits and pieces we've got here. So I've already been out with the tape and I've marked things out. So we've got one pole here, one pole there. So this, between this pole and this pole, is exactly 10 meters. 10 meters between the pole, and the pitches are going to be 10 by 10. So we've got 10 by 10 going across 10. A 10 meter square, which is more than big enough for our bow tents, for the yurts that we're going to get, because as I explained in the last video, it's going to be aimed at mostly couples, so we don't need to go for the big massive ones. And we can change where the entrance is going into here. So I think this first one will have the entrance at the front here somewhere into it. Plan is, hedge grows, grass for about a metre, say a metre across, is just left to grow. Leave it to grow. Cut the pitch, but let the grass grow. This post that we just spoke about, which is 10 metres away from that post, is 6 metres from this post. The rules and the regulations state that you have to allow 6 metres in between your groups. So 6 metres, this area here, let the grass grow and plant some of the trees that we've got. We have got cherry plum and we've got crab apple. So I'm thinking maybe 3 there and 3 there. And then again here, this is another pitch, another 10 metres of area. And I'm thinking for this one, the entrance will be here. So again, let the grass grow, but have a gap for the entrance. Another 6 metre gap, more long grass, more trees. Another pitch here. So you've got hedge at the back and you've got hedge down the side, which is the English U. And again, with this one, I'm thinking entrance somewhere here. So if you are here and you're camping, now when you're camping, you're never normally standing up, because if you stand up, you'll be able to see everyone. There you go, you're at the level of my eyes and you'll be able to see over everybody. But once the grass starts growing, you spend a lot of time sat down when you're camping. So that hopefully is going to block the vision between people. Fingers crossed, hopefully. So if we jump down this way, so that's 3 pitches in over there. And then along here, my whole idea is that we get the glamping stuff there. So we've got the yurts, the bow tents, the A-frame tents and that sort of thing. And then along the bottom bit here, we've got exactly the same. We've got one post there, but that post there needs to be moved. I'll explain that in just a second. So from there to this one is 10 metres. I haven't done the outer ones because I ran out of posts. 10 metres, 6, 10, da 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 da. And there's 5 pitches that run all the way down to, not as far as the car park, but they run down that way. And the idea was to put the campers down here, so bring your own tents. However, as you know, straight across the road from us is the pub. Pub is there. I went into the pub the other day and I was talking away to them, and they came up with an idea. They said, why don't you put a stile in here? somewhere, and I think that is a brilliant idea. That'd be great for anybody staying here. So rather than having to go down, out our gate, cross over the road, walk along the road, go to the pub, come out the pub, walk along the road, cross over the road, walk back in, and then walk back up to where you're staying, you can just cut straight through here. Now I've left 2 meters here, but I think I'm going to increase that to 4 meters. So I'll bring it over to about here somewhere, and that'll then give me room over the summer at some point to clear all these trees, clear all the brambles, build a bridge across, whack in a stile, and decide where it's going to go and what's going to happen. And then we were talking about drainage. So let's go this way. Right, okay, so I'm filming this at about 1:30 in the afternoon, and this has been the first day of sunshine and no rain that we've had in a very, very long time. But just look at this. It is waterlogged, absolutely horribly waterlogged. So I dug a little ditch just to see, will it do anything, will it help? And the water flowing over there, I tried to cut in a video I took on my mobile phone that you'll be able to see of the water as it flowed down over here. So what we're thinking of doing now is, because this is within the 6 meter gap, is to do a French drain. So dig it in properly from the start of the ditch there, dig it in and come all the way up to where it gets a bit better, which is about here. So we're going to be coming out roughly 15-20 meters as a French drain, bosh. So that's where you basically put in some stone, and we'll also put in a drainage pipe wrapped in material as well, so as that can clear the water. And then because we've got standing water all the way along here, bring said drain right the way up to, oh, this is horrible walking through this lot. It gets like this every year, but it normally happens over the winter. I've only been here a couple of years, but we haven't had it this bad in March. Bring it all the way up to about the edge of the car park, which is going to be about here, and then just run another one, bosh, straight away down. Whether I get that done this year or not, I don't quite know. But for now, I've got to think about what we are doing. So I've got to crack on with planting some trees, because they ain't going to last very long without being put in the ground. Okay, I believe I am now at the stage where I've got 3 pitches marked out, and I've even got the trees in around them that are going in. So we've got 10 by 10 for one pitch, we got 6 by 10 for the gap in between, 10 by 10, 6, 10. You know how it works by now, hopefully, fingers crossed, now that I've explained it. I have also put, so let's come down this way. You see the pole here, and then there's poles, not the trees, the poles. So the poles are the edge of the 10 by 10. So I'm going to allow a gap of like a meter where I'm going to let the grass grow, and you can see we've got trees, which are within that meter bit. And then it'll be the mown stuff. So that'll provide an extra bit of privacy. Hopefully, I just need the grass to start growing. What I have also done is, you can see these trees here, nice long line of them, and a nice long line of trees that side there. So I have reserved this patch here to be like an emergency usage. So where it's been so wet down the bottom there, if anything gets wet down there again, I can move people up to here, because this bit seems, other than that far corner, this bit seems to stay relatively dry. It's very, very well draining ground there. So all the trees in here, they are basically crab apples. And crab apple trees you don't need to worry too much about, because they can be grown from a cutting, whereas if you tried to take a cutting of a Granny Smith, you'll never get a Granny Smith apple. And if you try to, unless you place it onto rootstock and you do it that way, or if you try to grow a pip from like a granny apple, you never get a granny apple. But crab apple, it doesn't really matter. And there are 50 trees that have gone in. Hopefully we'll get at least 40. So, you know, I'm sort of like thinking maybe in a few years' time we can start doing our own cider. That would be tempting. And then down here, I've basically marked out 5 pitches for the campers. And what I'm doing now is I'm just going along and I'm just planting in the trees. So this is before they get covered up and everything. So I just thought I would show you what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Now it is really late in the year to be doing this, but these are plum. These are cherry plum, and this is how they're sent to me. So they've been grown by somebody else who's done like a cutting off the tree, popped it in the ground, left it for a year, and that is what you get. So that will grow up to be a big massive tree, which is what we want, but we'll be trimming it down a little bit. And I just thought I would show you just how we get them in the ground and what we do. So they're going in every 4 meters, and when they come out and into blossom, they'll look fantastic. So I've got to put this one in at 24 meters, which is just down here. Right, so at 24 meters, all we do is dead simple. Put our spade in, give it a jiggle, take our plant, pop the plant into that hole. So you can see we've made a nice deep hole in there, and the roots go in and all the way down. So we plant it to the level where it had previously been planted to, and then it's out with a heel. Heel it in, and that's it. Well, that's it to that point. I'll cut back in just a second and I'll explain how we put the covers on them to keep the wabbits off of them, pesky things. So I'm going to carry on with this right the way down, and then in between, in the 6 meter gaps in between, so that gap there, that gap, let me see on the camera, that gap there we go, that needs some in. So I'll get them done and then I'll cut back in, and hopefully we're nearly at the end. Oh, and just when it was all going so well, somebody's gone and made a mistake, haven't they? So we got the one in the corner there, and I measured out using the big measuring tape. We measured it out to the 50. So let's go down to the 50. And I thought it looked like being a perfectly straight line. But we're on a bit of a hillside here, and you can see this post we're coming up to now, that was the 50 meter post. This one. But what I really should have done was, before I started planting all the plants, putting everything else in, measure it across to that one there. Because had I have done so, I would have realised that I'm off by about 2 meters. So I need to bring it this way. So I need to remeasure it all again, pull up all those plants I just put in, and redo it. Oh well, at least the sun is shining. That is a bonus, I suppose. Right, well there we go. I think we are just about there. So we've got a line of apple trees going in there, and that will separate that bit from this area here. We've then got 5 pitches, boom, 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 boom. 10 meter pitch, 6 meter gap at least, although one of the gaps is a little bit more than 6 meters, just because it is where I'm going to put the drainage in. So we've got 5 there. I've got to clear out the old bonfire site, get that gone, reseed that, and then that one there will be usable. We have got this area that I'm walking across now, which will become known as the marquee patch, hopefully. Might be able to stick up a marquee, might even get a dome. Have you seen those big geodesic domes, big massive things that they put people in nowadays? That'd be quite cool there, wouldn't it? It'd be like a dome with the pylon. That would look quite cool, I think. But anyway, marquee for, I don't know, weddings, christenings, bar mitzvahs, What else do people have parties for? Anniversaries, that sort of thing. Divorce parties, yeah, that's the thing. All right, and then we got 3 pitches here. 1, 2, 3, plus the middle bit, which will be like the emergency pitches there for those sort of things. So I'm knackered, absolutely knackered. That's about 90 trees I've planted, I think it is, that have gone in. And my wife was concerned that if I was going to plant 100 trees on this bit of land, it might actually end up covering everything, and there would be nowhere for the horses to go. But as you can see, even though they are quite small trees at the minute, it's not going to take up a huge amount of land. So we've put all the plum in down here. These are plum next to the road. And as I said previously, as soon as they grow bigger, it'll probably be about year 3 years from now, so about 2026, the blossom on them will just look fantastic. And that'll look even more horrible when it's blowing all over the bell tents and staining them, and yeah. But anyway, let's not grumble. Let's crack on with it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please do like, comment and subscribe to see more of our diversification as we go forward with opening up this little glamping area. There's going to be more videos to come, that is for sure. And the grand news is we open in about 3 weeks time, and we've already taken our first bookings. Good-ching. Except the I didn't realise quite how much commission these online booking sites take from you, and it's gone from a ka-ching to a oh, okay, that'll do then. But anyway, I'll explain that all in another video. That'll all be coming up soon. So thank you for watching. Until next time, bye bye.